Hi, Greg and Tina. How you doing? All right, so this one's gonna be a little bit different. Um, yeah, and I've been promising doing one out of the print shop area, but I have been so busy that that is not working right now. That's just out of the question. Out of the question. It's been one of those things where that room has been getting super busy, super busy. I'm printing Junk to Gems merchandise. I'm printing Drifting Dreamers merchandise. I'm doing some other merchandise for other people. We're doing it for a lot of whatnot channels and whatnot too. Yeah, whatnot. But one thing I did promise that I was going to do is share something. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Folder Job. How you doing? I designed my Arkansas home. Now, is it going to be what I want it to be? I don't know. I don't know. I thought about shed the house. That's how I made our seed business runs out of a shed the house, kind of. So what I did is I went in. Hi, Charlene. How you doing? I went into a program that's called Easy Home, and I designed a house. Now, mind you, I'm not a graphic designer, although I did take it when I was in high school. But this is what my thought of my house would be. It's a 15 by 15 bedroom, 8 by 8 bathroom, give or take, with a 6 by 13 walk-in closet for the master bedroom, a pantry off the end of that for the kitchen, and then the rest of that's just kitchen, living room, laundry, a set of stairs, dining room table, a little bit of an office area in the corner. I'm thinking that if I were to build it, it would go up to a second story, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be the one to build it. If I don't, I should repeat myself. If I don't build it, it will go up to a second story. If I don't build it, if I hire somebody else to go in and do it, and I'll be honest with you, I back when I was young and a kid, I did roofing. I did a lot of roofing, and you know nowadays I'm not falling down anymore. I fell 4 feet and shattered my heel, so you won't find me 20 feet off the ground on a roof. That's not going to happen. And I do want it on a basement. That's one thing that I've decided quite a long time ago. Actually, watching Gary and Melanie over Simple Life Reclaimed told me that you definitely want to have a basement because you need to have that safe place to go in case of a tornado. And I agree with that 100%. Would I go 2 stories high? I don't know. I'm thinking maybe a lofted area, but I'm not real sure about that either. Like over the bedroom side, go to a lofted area, but I'm not sure. I don't really know as though I want to have like ceilings like Mama V has. I'm not doing 12. There's no way I'm doing a 12 pitch roof. I'm kind of thinking a 412 pitch roof. Arkansas doesn't get a lot of snow. New York State gets a lot of snow, and here a 412 pitch roof works well. 612 is a little bit better, but I'm thinking I don't want to be standing on a 612 roof. For me, that would be kneeling down actually. A 1212 roof, that's pretty steep. I mean, you're talking almost an A-frame at that point, and I don't want something that steep. I don't want to be on it. Period. And it's not for solar panels or any of that stuff. It would be just a house roof, basically. I do want a basement, and I'm thinking that I would put like a spare bedroom down in the basement for if I had a guest that wanted to stay over, like my brother or somebody like that came to visit. There you go. Hop down in the basement. First of all, it's going to be cooler down there in the summertime, so I don't need to give you air conditioning so much. I don't know. It's my thinking anyway. I definitely don't want to do shed the house because that was 12 by 40 or 24 by 48. My original plan was 24 by 60. And the more I looked at the plan, the more I said, yeah, no, I don't want it that big. You know, you're talking when you build a house, everything you do is based on per square foot. And like a ranch style house, your biggest per square foot cost is in your roof. If you do a 2-story house, then your roof price goes down because you got a second story being added and it adds more square feet. But it still creates all these additional costs and everything else. Although I do want a basement. I've thought about it and thought about it. I thought about like Tim at Ridge Life where they did Mama's cabin or Grandma Carol's cabin and did like her water heater, on-demand water heater outside of the home. I've got an on-demand water heater. I don't know as though I wanted to use that for a home. I think I would stick with like maybe a 40-gallon hot water heater. Again, it's only 2 of us going there, so you know, a visitor here and there wouldn't hurt. But you know, I'm thinking this, you know, kind of keep things pretty basic, and that's my game plan. Now today, Junk to Gems just shared a video of land hunting, and we've been in talks about the 40-acre plus lot they've been looking at, of possibly 4 of us going in and buying that lot. And I really hope that today's video is going to be them out walking that lot. I really was looking forward to that. But somebody else was looking at the lot when they showed up, so they didn't go to that lot. What they did show was awesome, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend go check out Junk to Gems video. They show some spots that are pretty nice. I don't know how many are available or whatever and whatnot, what sizes they are, and you know, the elevation of land and all that is looking phenomenal. I mean, you're standing on top of a mountain looking down into a valley, looking up at a bigger mountain. So I mean, stuff like that, it's impressive. But you know, for me, I'm just like, yeah, that's pretty awesome, but I wanted to see the 43 acres. Speaking of Junk to Gems, and I haven't even showed this to them. So Gary and Mary, if you're watching, Gumby, I've been working with my I do embroidery for like hats and stuff like that, hats and t-shirts and whatnot. And I have not touched my embroidery machine now in a long time. Hi, Anoa Milton, how you doing? Hey, Arlene, thank you. I haven't touched the embroidery machine in a long time. Right now, it's still set up for doing hats. That was the last project I did on it, and that was for my class reunion last summer. So you know, I got to go back to school for it. I got to relearn it, but it's still set up for doing hats. So what I did is Gary and Mary wanted to have their logo. I put it on just the side of the T-shirt. I put their logo on the side of the T-shirt, and Gary's like, I'd really like to have it blown up, put it on the back. And I'm like, yeah, but I can't take your logo and do that, because if I blow your logo up, what happens is it pixelates really, really bad. I mean, it blurs it right out. At a distance, like if you're standing, I don't know, 50 to 100 feet away, that logo would look awesome. The closer you get, the worse it would look because it pixelates. And that happens with anything that you got to blow up big. If it wasn't designed big and shrunk down, it'll look that way when you go back the other way. Hi, Liam. How you doing? It'll go back looking that way. So when he said he wanted to have it on the back of the T-shirt, I reached out to a guy he does a lot of work for me. His name's Elder Ryder, and he's on Facebook. And I said, Elder, you know, you guys do all this other work and stuff. I need to know if you can take this logo, make it to be like maybe an 8-inch diameter, you know, not quite as big as a dinner plate, but like maybe an 8-inch diameter, and eliminate all the pixelation that I'm seeing in it as I'm blowing it up. And I haven't heard back from him on that yet, but he also does my digitizing for the embroidery work. And I said, and while you're at it, can you do me a favor? Can you send me something that would show what it would look like if I were to take this logo and embroider it onto a hat? You digitize it. You do your magic, and we'll go from there. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. The background color is not right. I mean, it just feels like a pink background color. I guess it is. But check out these thread patterns. Every time the thread changes direction, it makes it look like a different color. That's done with just white, blue, black, and green. It almost looks like it has a gray in it because of the way the thread pattern changes on it. And he sent that to me and he says, well, before I bill you for that, I want you to do me a favor. And I said, okay, what do you want me to do? He says, I want you to stitch that out on your machine and then come back and talk to me. So if there's any changes you want to make, we'll make the changes and we'll bill you accordingly. I'll be honest with you. If you've ever done embroidery, I mean, we're talking professional embroidery. We're not talking just a little home embroidery machine. This thing's a 15 needle, one head Racoma. And it's a big machine. It's a loud machine. And depending on the thread count, it takes a lot of time. Well, that's 4 colors. But those 4 colors break down into 15 different segments of when it changes needles to go back and do another section and changes the needle again to a different color and does another section. So it does that 15 times. So every time it does that, it makes a lot more noise. I have it on a padded floor, so it doesn't make that much noise throughout the house. But up here upstairs, I could put a hat on that, and anywhere I'm at upstairs, I'll hear it running. Downstairs, not so much. Yeah, I know. Some people don't understand. Well, what happens is if you take a small picture and you try to make it a large picture, those pictures are made up of what's called a pixel, and each pixel is just a little tiny dot. So if you take that little tiny dot and you try to make that little tiny dot a little bit bigger, that little tiny dot becomes a bigger dot. And then you go a little bit bigger, and that bigger dot becomes a bigger dot. Where with these guys, because they do all kinds of work for me, they'll take that big dot, they'll break it back down into the little tiny dots, and they'll curve it out so that it doesn't look like it's a big, what would be the best way to say that? The bigger the dot, the more it looks like you're getting ready to play. What the heck is that game where you drop the pieces in? They're all squares. You get the L and you get the square and you get the little Z piece with 4 of them on it. That's what pixelation does. It brings it out to be that big of squares, where originally it was just little tiny dots. What the heck is the name of that game? Anybody got a clue? Yeah, it comes out very blurred. Very blurred. At close range. At long distance, it looks awesome. It looks awesome at long range, but very close, it looks blurred. And the same thing with like the embroidery. I can't take a pixelated item. There you go, Tetris. That's the name. Yep, spelling was wrong, but yes, Tetris. You hit it on the knob, Mr. and Mrs. Walter-Job. Thank you. I appreciate that. An embroidery machine can't do that. An embroidery machine has to have a pattern for the thread to follow. And I think like when they did this logo for me and made it so that I could actually put this onto a hat, if you look really, really close to this, look at all those different thread patterns. They go left, they go right, they go up and down, they go everywhere. But wherever there's anything that has any kind of a design to it, it actually kind of follows that design. And that's what embroidery needs. And that's what the digitizing does, is it goes through and they can say, okay, I want this thread to turn this way. I want that thread to turn this way. I want it to be done in this pattern or done in that pattern. I've got programs that will allow me to do that, but I don't have the time to learn those programs any more than I've had time to relearn the embroidery machine itself. Now, mind you, this is a $16,000 machine. And when you first get it, the first thing they tell you is go to school for it. You got to come to our school. You got to learn it. if you don't use our school and learn it our way, your warranty isn't good anymore. And I'm like, yeah, well, I got to prove to myself that I'm worthy of owning this machine before I spend more money on going to your school to learn how to use the machine. And to this day, I haven't done it. I've owned the machine now for going on 3 years. I can still take the school. The warranty is still good. They don't know what I've been doing with it, but it's one of those things. I like my hat too, Winona. This one my girlfriend bought for me. I don't know where she got it. I'll be honest with you. It came from China, because only China can embroider on the bill of the hat. Because they do that before they sew it together. Only China can do that. So I'm going back in and I'm gonna start relearning this machine because I want to be able to do junk to gem hats or drift and dreamer hats or any of them. I mean, I've got elder writers sitting in my back pocket waiting for me to just throw him designs. I actually had him do this one for me back when President Biden first became president. Excuse the extra hairs on it. My gray hair is all over it. But I had him do that one. I says, "Hey, I need to have something that looks like this. Can you like go in and digitize that for me?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, absolutely, I'll do it." And so he did it. Yeah, actually, Pappy Smurf. That's another thing that they do over there to Elder Writers Group, which is Prince Digitizing. They also do Vester and raster graphics. And that's what I'm trying to get them to do with the Junk to Gems logo, is kind of turn that into a vector so that it's not so pixelated and I can make it big or small and it doesn't change the look of it. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. I printed it out on a piece of paper, and then that piece of paper transfers the dye over onto the shirt. So it just has to be done right. Thanks, Dennis. Yeah. I am of the opinion that there are certain ways to do things that are proper and certain ways to do things that aren't. Now, another good example is this hat right here. I made that leather patch. I think that leather patch turned out looking awesome. The problem is that those leather patches that I got came pre-glued. And the problem with pre-glue, I don't like their glue. It doesn't work the way it's supposed to. Oh, good. That's awesome, Winona. The pre-glue that they send, I don't like. They say, well, you can put it on a heat press at 300 degrees, but it'll stain the leather. Oh boy, does it stain the leather. It'll make that leather so dark you can't see what you just got done putting it on the laser to print out. So I'm not happy with that. But what I also found out is because they are pre-glued patches, I can't use the leather cement that I bought to be able to glue that patch onto that hat, because now I'm gluing their glue onto the hat with the cement, and their glue doesn't stay to the patch unless it's heated up. So I'm kind of in the toss up on that one. And to be honest with you, I haven't found anybody that does these patches that doesn't already have the adhesive on them. Yeah. I did buy a lot of raw leather, and it's not cheap. And my laser does not like cutting raw leather. It says it will, up to a certain thickness. The thickness I bought is within that range, but I tried cutting it and it burns the face of the leather as much as it burns the cutout of the leather. And burning the face of the leather destroys the patch automatically. I mean, it really limits your ability to use that patch for anything. And I like these patches because they look like they're sewed on, but they aren't. They're actually glued on. So that's kind of a toss-up for me right now. And I would like to be able to figure out how to do it by maybe using what they say I should do, but changing their way up a little bit and making it my own way where my hat press isn't even turned on. I heat the patch up underneath a different heat press first, to those 300 degrees, because now what I'm putting on it with the laser would be face down, and that would hopefully get the glue hot enough, not press it down, but get it down close to it and get the glue itself hot enough, and then be able to take the patch out of that heat press, square it up on the hat where I want it, and then use my other hat press to be able to just hold it down and lock it into place. I'm kind of hoping I can do that. I have not played with it. I've had so many projects going on. Speaking of projects, we have Dollar Seed, as many people know, and that's my main business. My main business. And then Dollar Seed turned into being, okay, well, now that I've got you all out here working and I'm stuck in the house, I want to find something else for myself to do. I opened up Midline Graphics. And we started doing hats and t-shirts and doing all kinds of stuff. Well, then I decided that, there's a lot of free time in this business. So then we started doing things like soap, artisan made cold compress soap, custom labeled. And I started doing that, and that was a good hit. And I decided, well, that was such a good hit. Let's play with essential oils, because there's a lot of people out there that like to make candles and soap, and they want to have access to oils. I have access to it, so let's see if we can do that. And that turned out to be a pretty big hit. So now I'm going to announce my newest product. It's not even on my site yet. It's a fun one. Let's see if we can get that up there. Bulgarian lavender. Dave scented candles, homemade 6-ounce soy candle. Ignite your calm. The DSC actually stood for Dollar Seed Corporation, the name of our seed corporation, because everything runs under Dollar Seed LLC. So I was like, well, wait a minute, DSC, it just doesn't make sense. Let me change that. And I thought about it. Well, my name's Dave. Let's go Dave's. And after I got the candles going, I was like, well, wait a minute. I got a laser. Let's play with the laser. Ignite your calm. Dave scented candles, high quality products. In super fine print, what you can't see is it says established Cincinnati, New York, 2024. You couldn't see it. And to be honest with you, me looking at it, if I didn't know what it said, I wouldn't be able to see it either. But I decided that was a new product, something that I thought, well, they're only 6-ounce candles. I can sell these on our site for, $6 a piece. That covers the jar, the wax, the scents, the dyes, the labels, the boxes to mail them out in. And of course, it'll be another $4.50 probably, or $4. Yeah, $4.50 probably to ship them. No, actually, I think I could do that for about $4 shipping. So for about $10 a candle, you get a really cool homemade candle. And I got all the stuff to it. When I decided I wanted to learn it, same as I did when I decided I wanted to learn embroidery. I didn't just go out and buy the cheapest machine and say, well, just let me learn embroidery and then we'll go from there. No, I went out and I bought the most expensive. Well, when I decided I wanted to do candles, it wasn't just buy a little, here's a kit, learn how to do it. No, I bought everything. We already had the essential oils, basically. I bought everything, and I just said, well, now I've got all these jars. Now I've got all this wax. Now I've got all these scents. Now I've got all these dyes, wicks, and everything else. Let's just start making candles. I already had the boxes to ship them in, believe it or not. The boxes that I have to ship candles in, I originally bought for coffee cups, to be able to mail coffee cups. And the problem with that is the boxes are a certain size, and when you do a coffee cup, they don't do the measurement according to the handle. So you couldn't fold the box square, and if you did, the box can be just touched, and it would break the handle off the coffee cup. So I had all these small boxes, and I'm like, what do I do with them? Sit on them. We'll figure something to fit in them. Well, guess what? These fit perfect. Go figure. My shipping labels are actually bigger than these candles are. So that was pretty cool. Mr. and Mrs. Slaughter job. Sorry, hate to see you go, but I understand. So yeah, I mean, I've been real busy with all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's not just yeah, I run Dollar Seed. Yeah, I run the graphics business. Yeah, I do this. Yeah, I do it. I'm always trying to find new things to add. Even though the seed site is based on garden seeds, when I started doing things like adding soap and the sales were like, wow. I mean, just last week, I had a lady order 5 bars of one flavor of soap, oatmeal milk and honey, and then 2 of another one. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. But then I got looking and said, well, wait a minute. This is where I'm becoming an issue on. If I were to continue this, I have to reach out to my crafters, the artisan guys, and say, all right, well, now, I just sold so many bars. Now I have to order so many more. And I want this flavor and I want this flavor. What other flavor do you have? To be honest with you, I thought I was going to be adding a new soap. And I didn't. I didn't. Our oils, on the other hand, yes, I'm going to. I have found some really, really cool new oils. We have quite a few already, but I have found some really cool ones. One of them is called Orange Popsicle. I actually have that burning, or no, I don't. No, I don't. I have burning what's called banana nut bread. Banana nut bread. I'll tell you, the day I started playing with this oil, making the first 2 candles, my employee Jim came downstairs and says, "All right, where's the bread? I want a slice." He thought I was making banana nut bread. It smells that good, that real. And I was like, dude, I'm making candles. I mean, if you want to take a slice and slap some butter on it, that's your option, but it's already got oils. But yeah, I mean, it's a phenomenal smell. And we got orange creamsicle. Growing up as a kid, we ate orange creamsicles all the time. I made orange creamsicle candles, and I took one over to my mom, and I said, Mom, you eat oranges like every day, right? And she's like, yeah. I says, how would you like to have an orange creamsicle candle? And she smelled it, and she said, oh my God, that is awesome. I was all right. And I gave her a butternut one, the banana nut bread one too. She's like, oh my God, that smells so good. And I was like, I got more coming. I got watermelon, and I got all kinds of. Actually, I got a new one coming called Midnight Blackberry. That I can't wait till that one gets in because I have been told that one is phenomenally awesome, awesome, awesome. I actually reached out to my artisan soap guys and said, "Can you make me a Midnight Blackberry soap?" And they said, "No, we don't know what that scent is." And I was like, well, can I send you the scent to make the soap with? And they said, no. We only make soap with our own scents. We make our own scents. And I'm like, but I want this one. And they said, well, then make your own soap. And I said, I don't have time to create a process for doing that. I don't have room to create a process for doing that. I mean, just this candle thing alone, I think I've told people and maybe shared a picture or something, but right behind me is a door that leads out. This door is going to be going to my new office, what I'm sitting in right now. And when the new office is built, everything that you see right here that I'm using is going to end up in the new office, including the security screen behind me, probably that TV up there on the wall or a different one. But pretty much everything that is in this room right here is going to get moved out to my new office. And then we're going to go down on the back patio that Jim built for me when I shattered my heel. I've got a love seat. I've got a coffee table. I've got a TV stand and a TV. Those are probably going to go into the new office just to open up that downstairs back porch a little bit more to give me more room. I've got my laser down there. I shared that on one of my lives. And that takes up a big section of the room. Well, the candle business is going to take up the rest of that section of the room, and that's my goal. So I'm really kind of pushing more now to getting this done. You know, weather's breaking. We're not cold and snowy anymore, which is really cool. I was really worried about how the cold was going to affect progress on it, but it just got to the point where this year it wasn't really the cold that was the issue. It was ambition. You know, Jim's a good employee, but Jim has financial needs above and beyond what I give him, and he has a brother-in-law who owns a business where they go around and they deliver medical supplies or pick up tests and stuff like that at medical facilities, and then bring them back up here and transport them to wherever they got to go. And that pays $500 a day. I pay him $17 an hour. There's a big difference in that, you know. So he's out there and he's doing those medical runs and stuff for $500 a day. And I can't tell him, no, I don't want you doing that. I need you up here doing this, because that would be unfair to him. And to be honest with you, I can't afford to lose him, because if I lose him, I lose his wife and I lose his best friend. 3 of my everyday seed packers. Well, 2 of my everyday seed packers, and then him. He's a seed packer when he needs to be, but he does my construction when he doesn't need to be. And he's good at it. So, you know, I try to keep him out of the seed house, you know. Poor guy lives with women, deals with women every day. At least when he's here with me and we're working on projects like this, or in my upper hallway here that we've been doing, he's not dealing with the women so much. And I'll be honest with you, he's a lot nicer guy when I can take him away from him. He's a lot nicer guy. All right, well, guys, I think I'm gonna call this one short tonight, just because. But I do want to let you know that Gillum Farms will be on, I believe, tonight at 8 o'clock Central Time. I think they picked that as their new time, new date. I do have some other videos I got to go watch to catch up on, and I hope you all are keeping up with everybody in the family on this one. But same time next weekend, I'll be here 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7C, and hope to see you guys again next week, and hopefully we can get somebody to come on and join us. We'll see you then. Everybody have a good night. Melvin, Donnie, you have a good night too. Thank you. Happy Smurfs. Thank you.